I think we all can agree that sleep is an extremely important and integral part of our lives, and we should not ignore it. It helps us be more productive, more energetic, and most importantly, just happier in life. Now, a year ago, I was in a terrible state when it came to sleep. I was sleep deprived. I couldn't sleep for more than 3 hour chunks. I used to wake up in the middle of the night. I couldn't fall asleep 1 or 2 hours after I get in bed. This made me feel lethargic, unproductive, unfocused, and just low on my moods every single day. I knew I had to fix it, and I did. And hence, here I am sharing 4 things that worked out well for me that helped me get my good night's sleep back. Now, if you want to directly skip to the how-to part, I have put the timestamp below. But if you want to understand a little backing science behind this, then keep watching. One thing that is important to understand is the circadian rhythm. Now, circadian rhythm is nothing but your body's biological clock that comprises of physical, mental, and behavioral changes in a given 24-hour period. To simply put it, your body's biological clock is constantly taking signals and cues from your physical environment like sunlight, darkness, temperature, sound, and all physical spaces around you, and thereby triggering your internal system to operate accordingly. Now, for sleep, when your body and brain understands that it is nighttime, darkness, and low sound, it starts releasing a hormone called melatonin that is responsible for controlling your sleep cycle. So an important thing to understand here is to not mess with your internal sleep cycle and respect it as much as possible. Now, here are 4 ways how I try to do that. First, I stopped my screen time at least 1 hour before I go to sleep. Now, the reason for doing that is our screens, our phones, laptops, TVs are constantly emitting light, which is equivalent to the daylight and the sunlight that we get. Now, by looking at those screens, I'm triggering my brain that, hey, there is still light around and it is not time to sleep yet. So the best thing would be to cut down and minimize your screen time at least 1 hour before you go to bed. Which brings me to the second important thing, and that is having a night routine. That's right, night routine is extremely important to tell your body that, hey, it's time to sleep. The more consistently you keep doing it, your body will start operating on that night routine. It will take physical cues. So here are the things that I do for my night routine. First, I have a set time or a time window when I sleep, and that is usually 11 to 11:30. After that, I make sure that I have a chamomile tea before I go to sleep. Third is I dim down all my lights in my house at least 30 minutes before I go to sleep. Lastly, I put my calming music to unwind myself from just a heavy day I had. The benefit of doing this regularly is you are telling your brain every day during that time window that, hey, I've started doing these physical attributes, so make sure you start preparing me for a good night's sleep. And hence it starts releasing melatonin and thereby giving you that necessary sleep that you require. My third and most important tip is to de-stress yourself. That's right, our body is accumulating a lot of stress and tension in the entire day. There are a lot of thoughts that are going on and your physical body is tensed up completely. So the best thing you can do to your body is make it calmer and remove the tensions and the stress that have been accumulated. One thing that I did was I invested in 2 products for my well-being. The first one is this Sage Wellness Kit. It comes with this small kit for your night routine and a night diffuser or just a normal diffuser. Diffuser helps in making my entire room environment more peaceful with its aromas and just music combined with it. And you can also apply the de-stressing creams, essential oils, and mists before you go to sleep, thereby just making you feel good internally. Now, this was for the mental well-being, but I also noticed that my physical body and muscles were extremely tight at the end of the day. So one product that I invested in was a massage gun. A massage gun just helps me release that tension from my shoulders, shrugs, calf muscles, or any muscle that I feel tensed up at the end of the day. You don't need a massage gun. You can also just do some stretches and exercises before you go to bed. And the last thing that I have done is I have cut down on my caffeine and sugar intake. That's right. We have heard it a lot, but caffeine and sugar highly impacts your sleep in general. They say it takes about 10 hours for caffeine to get out of your bloodstream. So if you want to make sure that you don't mess up with your circadian rhythm, then stop having caffeine at least 8 to 10 hours before you go to sleep, and also avoid any high sugar intake substances. We know sugar tends to make us more energetic, and you don't want to be extremely hyper and energetic when you are going to bed. So these are the 4 things that worked out very well for me. But one thing that I'll recommend to every one of you is that understand your own circadian rhythm. Understand your body clock, understand your body well, and see what it requires to make sure that it gets a good night's sleep, and start doing anything and everything that will help you get that peaceful sleep at night.